Surrounded by Alaska's impressive Chugach Mountains, ALYESKA Ski Resort offers a taste of the deep snow and makes the rugged landscape accessible. We got our hopes up for endless snow and epic runs to explore, when in actuality, ALYESKA is a solid warm-up resort to prep for heli skiing and backcountry experiences. While we made the most of our time there, soaking up the stunning views, dropping into steep chutes after a rope drop, relaxing in the Nordic spa, and finding secluded knolls to play on, we're also not immediately planning a return trip.
Welcome to ALYESKA Ski Resort in Alaska. Jeff and Jennifer with Snowboard Traveler, and the mountains are just beautiful here.
The snow report includes expected terrain opening, so we have our fingers crossed and high hopes for getting into at least one gate north face.
ALYESKA is the only major ski resort in Alaska and is located 40 miles south of Anchorage off the Seward Highway in the town of Girdwood. Driving this scenic byway, which hugs the coast along the Turnagain Arm, you can enjoy views of mountains, ocean, and wildlife.
The Hotel ALYESKA is the primary lodging at the resort. It has undergone a recent renovation and includes 300 rooms and ski-in, ski-out access at the tram. The rooms are comfortable, and the property includes several restaurants, a fitness center, large pool, and Alaska's first Nordic spa. There are a couple shops on the first floor with breakfast and gear rentals to hit before heading to the slopes.
ALYESKA has three main areas: Lower Bowl, Upper Bowl, and North Face. The hotel base area is connected to the day lodge by a Chair 7 and Bear Cub quad. To reach more intermediate access, take TEDS Express up the lower half of the mountain with connection to Glacier Bowl lift to the upper half. The aerial tram goes up the North Face double blacks to the top ridge with access to all three riding areas. We quickly learned the rest of the terrain is rarely open and requires an avalanche beacon, hiking, or a nearly impossible traverse on a snowboard.
The lifts don't open until 10:30 a.m. given the few daylight hours in Alaskan winter. So if you're coming from the East Coast, it will feel like afternoon before you get on the slopes. The lower half of the mountain under TEDS Express is a combination of intermediate groomers and advanced runs back to the base area. There are some glades as well, and the more open lower bowl to catch views of the mountains across the Turnagain Arm Inlet if the clouds clear.
Connect mid-mountain to the Glacier Bowl Express to reach the upper half of the resort. Getting to the lift is a narrow intersecting run filled with speeding skiers and riders. The resort gets socked in at times, and during winter the low angle of the sun can contribute to flat light, so be sure to pack a pair of low light goggles. When the sky clears, the top of the Glacier Bowl lift has views for miles around. The upper bowl is awesome, wide open terrain through advanced ridges, gullies, and rocky outcroppings. On a powder day, this was the go-to area to ride, but did ski up quickly on busy weekends. There are intermediate groomed trails through the upper bowl as well, so many people can ride to the top for the views. ALYESKA Resort isn't particularly large, and on the way down you end up lapping many of the same runs as they funnel back to the lift.
The steep double black runs of North Face are the last to open after being cleared by ski patrol. These drop below the tram line and are 30 to 45 degree pitches. They are mostly open slopes, but a few runs have some trees. The snow at ALYESKA is wet and heavy, so if it hasn't snowed in a few days, the conditions are hardpack. Yes, they get a record 669 inches of snow on average, but that is at the top. They only get about 200 inches on average at the base, and you can feel the conditions change as you make your way down the mountain. It's not worth getting excited unless it snows more than 8 inches to cover up the hardpack underneath.
The two aerial tram cars at ALYESKA are 40-person cabins that zoom to the top in just 4 minutes. On a clear day, try to spot all 7 glaciers in the distance during the ride. At the top of the tram is an observation deck, museum, and the Boartide restaurant and bar for lunch and soaking in the view if clouds aren't obscuring it. The 7 Glaciers fine dining restaurant is in the upper level with a 6-course selection menu that is a must-try at the resort.
Afternoon is a good time to explore the more adventurous terrain at the resort. Our best advice: if you see a ski patrol opening new terrain, don't wait, follow them right away. We were lucky and were one of the first to dive into Christmas chute after it opened. The chutes are gnarly here, and Christmas is a 1,000-foot, 50-degree pitch. That makes it the longest double black diamond in North America. After a rope drop, it's even more intense. There was slough coming down and people passing each other in the narrow route. We even watched one skier fall and continue sliding all the way down the chute. He was luckily okay. We rode the chute 2 days in a row, but after the initial snow, the conditions weren't very good.
Got a little taste of what it'd be like to be in an avalanche with the slough. I don't want to be in anything deeper than that.
Avalanche debris,
Upper Bowl has hike-to terrain to explore when it's open. We could only climb partway up Center Ridge before dropping in, but the snow was much better at the higher elevation. A lot of traversing is required to get to the far side of the Upper Bowl, and snowboarders may have a hard time.
It's much easier hiking at 4,000 feet than it is at 12,000 feet.
Chugach Knoll was another hike-to area in the Upper Bowl that most visitors miss. Although it's a short hike and a short run, we lapped this knoll several times, getting fresh lines after the rest of the resort had been picked over. Much of the expert terrain at ALYESKA is rarely open due to avalanche danger, so the ski resort can feel rather small at times.
Can you do your getting ready to go dance?
There are not that many beginner runs at ALYESKA, and they are located near the base areas, so they can get icy quickly. From the hotel, take Chair 7 over the ridge and ride to the Bear Cub area. The base village near town has a large day lodge with rentals and food. Our 2-year-old Shredder enjoyed the slopes here. She started out with the carpet and progressed to the chairlift for longer green runs. This area also has the terrain parks with a few jumps and rails going down to each of the base areas. One of the parks is more beginner, and the other includes medium to large features. The terrain park location unfortunately does encourage expert riders to fly through the beginner area at high speeds. The lifts keep spinning from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Thursday through Saturday on select weekends. Night skiing includes most of the intermediate and beginner areas from the top of the tram to the base area and under Ted's Express. As always, the temps drop and visibility is lowered, but it was a lot of fun cruising the slopes and terrain parks during the extended session.
A true highlight of staying at ALYESKA was visiting the Nordic spa to relax and recover. The facilities have an outdoor hydrotherapy area with a series of hot and cold pools at various temperatures, a saltwall sauna, relaxation beds, and an exfoliation cabin. You can hot, cold, rest, repeat your way through it all. There's a more secluded area in the forest with wooden plunge pools and barrel saunas. It's worth taking a day off the slopes to experience all the spa offerings.
Well, that's a wrap on ALYESKA here in Alaska. We had a fun few days here. Got to refresh the snow and got a lot of the hike-to terrain, so it's cool exploring some of the chutes and some of the high traverse areas. It's definitely a good jumping off point if you want to ride a few days before like doing a heli or cat skiing adventure.
Can we go up so we can get off the lift?